we are going to have a look at an old MR related to time tracking reports, and we will be looking at some backend stuff because we need to implement. We have to check if there's already a finder for time logs, and if it doesn't exist, we will integrate a finder to allow us to filter time logs with GraphQL, but mainly we need to add the sorting to that finder, right?
Yeah, I think that's about right. We've definitely got several ways to grab time logs at the moment, and the GraphQL mechanic that we're using for reporting doesn't currently support sorting on the server side. So we sort on the client side, but that isn't sustainable when we're returning larger numbers of records and we need to paginate. So yeah, we need to add that kind of sorting capability. We started looking at it 6 months ago, and we hit a few challenges. Because we were a bit concerned about duplicating code and whether something should be a concern or a finder or a service. So I think we just need to remind ourselves of where we got to with that conversation, if we made the decision or try and make the decision and get started, really.
Yeah. Well, regardless of the decision that we're going to make, we still have to implement sorting. So, okay. So let me share my screen. All right. Awesome. So, finder. Let's try to see if there's already a finder. I suppose there is.
I don't think there is, because I'm just reading my previous comment and I said, what do we do? At the moment, I think we use the time log resolver to apply all of the
Okay.
all of the filtering, and I've sort of suggested that maybe it would be right to create a time log finder which applies that filtering, but I'm not sure why I was considering doing that.
I guess that would help us out, for example, because if we implement everything on the resolver, that's only going to be useful for GraphQL.
But then if we only initially need it for GraphQL, then do you know what I mean? I think iteration, we love iteration, right? So if we can get away with sort of de-scoping the creation of the finder, maybe we should. Let me just see if I can understand why I'd suggested. Okay. The reason is because we need. Can you open? In fact, I can probably open it up. Contact. Where would it be? Can you open up the group type Ruby class?
Group type. Yeah.
So if you look, it looks like my mine's a bit slow to update for some reason. My live share. In there should be something. Look for contacts.
Yes.
Got it. So can you see you've got contacts, and then directly below it you've got contact state counts?
Oh, because we would need to duplicate the logic to.
Yeah. It all comes flooding back, right? Essentially, because we're paginating, or because GraphQL only returns a certain number of records, we need like two separate queries, services, fields. Let's call them two separate fields. One to grab the actual data, and one to grab some counts.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm wondering, No, we probably can't. We probably can't. I was wondering if we could use the time logs field to return the time logs as well as the meta information. So we could use the same resolver, the time logs resolver, to return the actual time logs and some additional information. But I think that that would probably be a breaking change because the shape, the object and the shape of the data would be different. Unless we passed something in. I'm trying to think how I can visualize what I've got in my head so you can see it a bit better. So yeah, if we look at the time log resolver and have a look what it returns, I guess it returns an array of time log.
Yes, and it's limiting that the size of that array, but by default max page size, I guess.
Which is interesting because I didn't think you really needed to do that, because
also this will definitely need to go down here if we sort.
Yeah, time object. It's a bit weird because that seems like a bug as well, right, Marco? That it's already at the top and therefore we're actually applying the limit before we're applying the filter in.
Yes.
So that looks like a bug already. Yeah, I think it's probably a terrible idea, but I'm gonna articulate again what I was suggesting before.
Okay.
So to avoid us creating a brand new like resolver and finder and service and type and all the other things that come along with that, we could tweak this resolver to understand an argument. So for example, include counts. So if we passed the include counts true argument, rather than just returning an array of time logs. So I'm gonna scribble something here. So
you want to return, for example, a JSON object with the array of time logs and the count of the result of the search.
Yeah, you read my mind.
Yeah, but I fear that's going to be a breaking change.
Well, not if we do.
If we use a. Oof.
I fully understand your reservations, and I have exactly the same. But in the interest of making it, as simple, it just seems like a huge architectural to have to create the counting, like the type to store the counts, the resolver for the counts, the finder to abstract all the logic just to achieve what's reasonably straightforward. So let me just keep scribbling a bit more here. So we're saying let's include counts, and then we sort of say, or actually, I guess we could do if I don't know what would be best. Counts else, and then in here we could have something like count is count, and then time logs. So I'm actually a little bit confused.
Yeah.
Default max pace. I just want to check if that's. I don't know if I'll be able to. Yeah, it's 100.
Do you want me to check this one?
I think it is 100. I wasn't sure if we had that set to something really high before we then did the filtering, but I don't think we do. I think that is just a bug.
Yeah, and also that's only one other place. Yeah, that's 100. There's only one other place using this syntax.
I think it should just be.
But why do we need that?
So if I think we can get time logs from, what's it called, query type. Yeah, so we can get time logs directly. Although it's saying visible. Oh no, that makes sense. So if we're doing like group.timelogs or project.timelogs or merge request.timelogs, then we can access this.
Yes.
Otherwise, we need to just get all time logs to then apply our filtering.
Oh.
That makes sense.
So that's basically, let me just write. So if we have a query, for example, project with some search data and time logs, we would have project as the object.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Same thing if we would have issue. We would have issue as the object, and we would be able to access the time logs only associated with that issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
So the only thing that I'm a little bit confused by, so GraphQL, I think mainly it takes. I thought it took care of pagination itself.
Yeah.
So I think the problem with doing this is that we're then going to lose our automatic pagination. So I don't think that limit that was there was actually needed anyway. But I'm guessing that if we do this, we lose automatic pagination, and therefore we have to manually paginate.
Yeah.
But I don't think that this or anything will work, because pagination is pretty, I don't know, clever, advanced, whatever you want to call it, for GraphQL, the way it uses the cursors, and you pass it a before and an after. So I think that might break my idea of returning it in this fashion.
Yeah, that might be a problem.
And
maybe that's why they don't do it.
Yeah, maybe. But it's a lot of overhead that we're going to have to tackle. So how do you feel about, should we start by seeing if pagination, based on this change that we've just made here,
we can try.
Let's create a few hundred time logs, and let's use GraphQL Explorer to see what we get back.
Yes. And how do we create 100 time logs using the Ruby console?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, pop into the Rails console. So this is, I feel like it's obvious to most people, but I was quite impressed with myself when I kind of figured it out. And if it's not documented, I guess we should definitely document it. But when we push merge requests up, I quite often use this as like the validation steps. So if you do, I think it's, can I type into this console?
Maybe I need to make you read write.
Danger, RMRF. I think we can do factory bot.create this. Then we just have a quick look at factories.
It should be time log.
But I think you can do like time log on merge request or issue time. Yeah, so we can do something like this. 100.
We need Did that work? No, roll back.
Maybe we have to. Let's just try doing time log and see if it automatic. I was going to create 100 issue time logs and 100 merge request time logs, but yeah, I think issue. Maybe not.
Space, mirrors, or namespace ID.
Oh, interesting. So it doesn't actually look like it's related to what I'm trying to do. Let's just do a time log count. 26. Do you think you already had 26 in there?
Yeah, that might be because I was doing some tests.
No, it doesn't. It looks like we can. It's super sucky, but if we just keep running it and letting it break, we'll eventually end up with.
Okay.
How many have we got now? My
42.
The live share is kind of hung for some reason, but I can still see on the screen on the other session. So.
It's really random. Oh, this time it's going. Let's see. 70.
I guess the other thing we could have done is just reduce the page size, which I think you can do from like GraphQL query itself. But let's get it over 200. Over 100.
Yeah, we went from 70 to 76.
Once we get to over 100, then I'm happy.
Promising 101.
Let's do it once more just to get a few more than that. Awesome. Right, so whip up a little GraphQL query now in GraphQL Explorer.
Come on. And now it's GDK showtime.
Yes, it is.
The title came in.
So I think I've mentioned to you all the woes, or we were having lots of issues with my machine when we were on last week's parent session. Everything was just kind of going wrong and all at the same time. A few days later, I got really, really fed up and I was like, I better just try turning it off and on again before and I mean the whole laptop, I shut it down, restarted it, and CPU went from like 100% to 9%. And GDK now is more responsive than GitLab.com. it's on fire, so it's awesome. But see how long that lasts. So yeah, try just time logs. And you want page info's the thing that we really want, I guess. But you could just do nodes and get like the I don't know, spent at or the ID or something like that.
What do we request for page info? Everything?
Let's just do start cursor, end cursor, has next page. I mean, it's basically everything, isn't it?
At least one argument so we can't actually.
Which is fine. I think that's absolutely acceptable. But let's just do like the spent at day, the start date or something is greater than like the 1st of 1st 1970 or something really silly. Just to
okay. So we have start date.
Awesome. So pagination has happened automatically. I'm guessing if we were to count those, we would see that there's 100 of them.
Nodes. Where is it? Why don't I have count?
I think it'd only be there if we expose. Yeah, I don't know. Let me have a look. Field count.
Yeah, that looks wrong for some reason. I know that merge request.
So we've got something called a countable connection type.
Yes.
Which actually might be the answer to all our problems. So I couldn't use the countable connection type for CRM because I was counting and grouping. So I was saying active, inactive, all. For time logs, if all we want is a total at the moment, going forward, we might want to break it down by a group or by this or this or this or whatever. But if all we want is a total, then we might just be able to implement this countable connection type.
But even if we were to group them together, I see that more as a front end thing than a back end. So
well, imagine that we wanted. I mean, yeah, I don't know how exactly I picture it, but let's say we wanted to show like open tickets and closed tickets, open issues, closed issues, open merge request, closed merge request, that sort of thing. So we might on our screen we might have tabs for like open, closed, merged, etc. And if we wanted to get back those individual counts. We can't do that client side, but again, I think that's a problem a bridge that we can cross further down the line. So let's see how we implement this. I think all we have to do is extend this for our time log.
Connection type.
Project type. Oh no, there you go. Connection type class. So yeah, maybe just try copying that into our time log type, not our resolver. I think. Sorry, I said that as if I know that that's a fact, but I don't.
Was it there? Yeah, it's there. Okay.
And see if you can now access the count, I guess.
Let's try refreshing the page so the schema is updated.
I do love our what am I going to call them, like discussion sessions, but it's nice to be hands-on again, right?
Yes. That's definitely true. I was having a look at a picture this morning where there were two pictures of developers writing code and writing documentation.
Yeah.
While writing code, the developer was there looking at a microscope to make everything perfect. And when writing documentation, they were like, don't know what to do. Yeah.
Does it work?
Oh yeah, that works perfectly.
Awesome. Okay, well, we've just saved ourselves a huge amount of work there, I think.
Yeah. And also, let me have checked. Are these all sequential? It looks so. $35, 126 looks right. 100 nodes. So yeah, that's also paginating.
Perfect. Well, we can see Has next page. Do you want to? Yeah.
It's
if
here.
You pass into the time logs. Oh God, I think it's after.
Yes.
And pass in the end cursor.
Oh.
Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Woohoo! Right. So that's an awesome start. So now I make it sound easy, but we just need to add the sorting. So if you've got a better idea, feel free, but I would probably refer back to my CRM stuff again and say, either find the merge request where I implemented it or just look at the contact resolver. And I think it will hopefully lead us to what we need in terms of we need the enum, so we need to create the enum and then some specs and other bits and pieces.
Yes, absolutely. Let me just close the Rails console and so we can see more. Okay. Yeah, you have the sort argument. And I guess that makes sense because we don't really want to sort by multiple fields.
No, I think initially at least we just sort by one.
So we have to create the enum. Let me just go to see.
So the only other thing that I foresee us wanting to do in the future is like groups and totals. So I just wonder how we would, when we're paginating, how we would do that. Whether we would, on the front end, maybe we would automatically like fetch all the pages. I don't know what sort of good practice and bad practice, but
to do what? Sorry,
well, let's say that we've got so a really good example of how we would be using this report, and I think you would probably be using this report as well, is at the end of the month to be able to kind of run a month-end timesheet for a client.
Yeah.
Now, let's say that you had logged, 500 bits of time for that client, and you were breaking that down by project.
Yes.
Then you would your time log report would need to get all of those. You wouldn't want to have to go through the 5 pages.
Yes.
I guess I'm thinking about the next step, which I guess is to make this exportable. Maybe I may be jumping ahead, I guess, but to put. We've already our time log report on an issuable, on a merge request or an issue already shows subtotal or grand totals.
Yes.
Albeit that if you've got more than 100 time logs, then it's wrong because there's no paging that goes on there. It just grabs the first 100 and that's it.
If we compute that on the front end, but if we expose 2 fields for the total amount of time for the time logs that are the result of the search, we don't care about pagination.
But there's a few things. I like the idea, and I think it probably is the solution. But first of all, I don't know how to do it based on our earlier comment without returning an object rather than an array, which then breaks the pagination.
Oh.
And secondly, I guess we would then need to know what they want to group by, right? So
actually, I'm not sure that would break the pagination because it's the same thing that's being done for the count field.
So you think if we can figure out how the countable connection type works, we might be able to do something similar to get aggregates or summaries or totals or something.
Because I wonder if maybe GraphQL is just looking at the arrays that are being returned and paginating based on those. So if you have one field that's an array, it's going to paginate on that. I don't know.
Yeah, it will. So it will paginate it can do nested pagination as well. So if for example you returned, let's say you returned a project, and for the project you returned all of its issuables, and for the issuables you return all of the time logs, it would paginate the issuables and it would paginate the time logs inside them.
Yeah. Okay.
But let's. I think I've gone like quite far ahead, and I think it's not necessary at the moment, right?
This should be fairly easy if we. How how do they do it? Can we try to do this? Totals. Total time, for example. Object items.
I don't think you even need the class, do you? You can just copy the field.
I guess I don't know how the connection type class works.
Well, you do because you got it right there.
Yeah, but this is passing the type to the connection type class. Do you think that just adding the field and the method might work?
I think it will, yeah.
Let's try. Do we need this relation?
So relation is object to items. Relation.reorder now.
Okay, we should be able to do. How do we iterate our?
Would we not just? And yeah, I don't really know. So why sometimes relation is an array?
I wonder if this is a case where maybe using a query might be faster because you would group by what? Group by the search and then sum the spent time.
Yeah, I would. That's exactly what I would. I would be trying to. So I think I would be trying to do something like relation. Can't type relation dots. I don't know Ruby as well as I know C#, but like time spent.
Okay. Do we want to try this?
Why not?
It could go.
It's never going to work first time, but
well, we have 50-50.
I always believe if it works first time, then there's something wrong. If that makes sense.
Oh, I'll be right back because my computer is dying.
I'll need a charger. No worries. No worries.
Okay, I'm back, and
Awesome.
it has reloaded. So, why I don't see?
Did this reload?
Yeah, because we lost the results.
Okay.
But just to make sure. Total? No, we don't have total. So let's try to
look inside. Look inside nodes. I think this is why. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see, and that's what you were saying. I think about the way that it's implemented as its own class, and yeah.
Okay. This way.
I wonder if we can. We probably can't have two connection type classes, right?
Oh, I hope we can.
We try. Otherwise, I guess we can extend countable connection type to make.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
But let's try it. I think we might find, one of them. We'll find out.
Let's see. Well, Ruby, the GraphQL Explorer came to life.
It's always promising.
Maybe once it's loading the schema. Come on. Okay. Oh, we lost count.
Yeah. And have we got this total? Yeah. Okay. Which is, so let's just see if that works out of interest. Get rid of count and.
Oh yeah, how is it working?
How do you mean? How is it?
How? Yeah,
awesome.
that's the.
Awesome. So yeah, we're going to have to create our own, like you say, time. I think we should call it time log connection type specifically, and we should extend countable. Yeah. I'm really excited to be working on this again, actually.
Yeah, well, once the UI to add time logs is merged, reporting is my next step. So yeah. Yep. Works. It works. Nice.
Amazing. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So add some sorting, or?
Oh yeah, we started with that.
And I sent you down a rabbit hole. Sorry.
Don't worry. I wonder if we should split this up.
What, you mean it should have its own class?
No, if we should keep the things that we just tried out, but have them on a different MR.
Yeah, sounds good.
So let me just create a branch for this.
Yeah, awesome.
Come on, you can type. Okay. This is not pagination, but let's call it that way. Okay. Okay, look. Oh, I should also push this branch so I don't lose it.
So I don't know if you knew where that little light bulb came up. You can click on that to save you having to manually copy and paste.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that might have come in a recent version of VS Code or something like that. But yeah.
Oh, this light bulb.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's probably worth. Oh yeah, you did.
Oh, I also opened this one on my own fork because I still have to migrate everything to the community fork. Well, okay. I can migrate later. Okay.
Cool. So yeah, we'll work off of this, to do our sorting.
Yes, I'll just go back to master. So
well, I was thinking, I suppose you could do them independently. Yeah, I'm just trying to think whether there's any what's the word, kind of dependency on the first one for the second one, but I guess there kind of isn't. So
I think the only thing might be
the bug fix.
yeah, exactly.
Cool.
And I can get that one very easily. Resolver and here. Okay. So yes, I'm a master. Let's do the sorting. So we should introduce. I was checking the MR that you created to add the GraphQL sorting for the CRM contacts.
Yep. Is it a bit bloated? Did I add the count stuff at the same time?
Yeah.
So hopefully ours will be a bit simpler, right?
Should be. I guess we do have a finder in here, but we can copy this sort to our resolver.
I think it would actually go in. I was going to say in the model, but
on TimeLog, because we have a cop that checks whether the SQL queries are made.
Yeah, I mean, not even just because we've got a cop actually, but it's just in the past, I think that's how I've generally. So if you look, even with the CRM thing, I think the sorting happens in the model, and then we expose it from the model to the finder, and then we just call it from. So we just keep passing it along.
Okay, see. So types. Oh, let's start adding the enum. Makes sense. Yeah. We should also do that inside the time tracking model.
Module, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So that's on types. Yeah. Types, GraphQL, types, time tracking. Time log. How did you call it? Contact sort enum. Time logs sort enum.
I think so.
And let's do a little bit of shameless copy and pasting. Yeah, time tracking. I'm like 13.
Is it? I'm not sure of this. I'm asking the question. Is it time log or time logs?
Yeah, I was just having a look because you used contact, so singular. I say that we can stick with that.
I guess we need to rename the file as well. Just
yeah, absolutely.
I think there probably are discrepancies through the code base, to be honest. But
yeah, definitely. Time log sort for sorting time logs. So, what do we sort for?
What do we expose? I guess.
Yeah. Let's see. We expose on the time log type.
And you know what? It's going to be a pain because one of the things I think I'm going to want us to be able to sort on is the user. And then we've got to work out whether it's the user name that we sort on or the user
handle.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
You.
And all of these are quite complex relationships because I think we're going to be able to sort on the project, sort on the group, sort on the user. There are three that I'm almost sure we're going to want to sort on. There may be the issue or merge request. So they're all quite complex.
Yeah, actually, because those are more like group by than sorting. Because if you want to group together all the time logs of a user, you could either group them using the group by or sort them by the username, so they are all sequential.
Or what if we started easy? What if we let you sort on time spent at, because that's a really easy one.
Yes, absolutely. And time spent.
And time spent. Is there anything else? I think maybe we don't actually expose it at the moment. I was thinking the merge request. So what do we expose? Issue and merge request. I was thinking like the issue ID and the merge request ID. But I don't know.
Yeah, but that's just like user. You would maybe group them rather than sort. Just to see that.
True. Yeah, I guess so. But what I'm just thinking of how this report's going to look, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, you're kind of right about the grouping, but what? Yeah, how would we want? Okay. No, maybe. So one of the ways we would use it would be running it for a specific user. In which case, you obviously don't need to sort or group by user. And the idea is at the end of your day, you run your report and you just say, oh, I've forgotten to log time on this ticket today, or I haven't logged any time or whatever. So that's one use case. So in that scenario, I would probably want to sort it by spent at. So I could see like my day, and I'll be able to sort of say, oh, there's a big gap there. I've forgotten what was I doing at 3 o'clock today? Right. Okay. So that, I think we tick that box really well with these two sorting options. The next one was what I said about like a sort of a report for a client. So let's say your client is a group. So it's then sort of asking the question. You're right. I guess ultimately you're going to want to do some grouping as well, which we're definitely not going to support in the first iteration.
Yeah.
But surely at the bare minimum, you would want to sort by maybe project ID or something like that. Which also makes me realize we're not exposing project on time log type at the moment, which would be really helpful.
You actually added that on your MR?
That's it on my global time tracking MR.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So I mean, maybe we just do these two as like, let's say our first goal is to build a user time tracking report.
Okay.
And the idea, the use case is that on a daily basis, you want to be able to check what your time logged, or maybe even a weekly basis to look back and just make sure that you've logged your time, and if you've forgotten to do any gaps, etc. And I think that will be achieved by sorting by spent at.
Yeah.
So I think for the first iteration of this, let's just do spent at and time spent.
Yeah, we can. Iteration is key.
Awesome.
So spent at, time spent. Oh, so sortable field each value uppercase. So you make them uppercase, and you replace the space with that underscore. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I wonder why didn't you just created the array like this?
So if you look, we also do the description based on.
Yeah. Okay.
you've detected a smell immediately, which is definitely was discussed. I don't want to look at the discussion at the moment, but you're welcome to have a look back. I think that this should be extracted to some kind of concern or include whatever you know what I mean? Like this sortable fields to each pattern. Seems like we should extend some kind of sortable fields enum, and all we need to do is pass in a list of sortable fields and it does the rest itself, kind of thing.
We actually do have a sort enum. That's updated. And by the way, this is using lowercase and not uppercase. Oh, deprecated. Okay.
Oh yeah, the uppercase ones are at the bottom, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, this looks good to me. Okay, so time tracking, time log sort enum. We added that. This is the counts. This contact state enum. Wow, what's the difference? Oh, that's the state. Okay, for searching.
Yeah.
Okay. Group type, we don't need that. The count resolver, we don't need that. The contacts resolver, we do need this one. And resolver. Don't think we have any indication on whether or not we should put this at the beginning or at the start. So this is a new one. I'm gonna put this at the end.
Just check. I think I might have noticed that they appear alphabetically.
Oh, really? No. Start time and time.
Okay. There's something that I've reviewed recently, like a merge request or something that was reorganizing. I'll Google it while you're beavering away.
Also, I just noticed that criteria to sort issues by on the contacts.
I wonder if we've fixed that since.
Oh, then my quite easily. I'm going to check because I can't resist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good spot. Oh, good spot.
Time logs by. So this time tracking. Tracking required. What should we? Well, definitely spend that, I guess, by default.
Yes, absolutely.
And in here we have, okay, so we have to, the value is downcase, lowercase. So this is spent at ascendant, descendant. So the newest are at the top.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It seems logical, but then I'm thinking on all the reports that we have, we always have them in ascending order. How do your existing system?
I don't know.
If you're running a report for like a week or a month, you would generally expect to see it in the order in which things were
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm happy to be overruled, Marco. Go with your gut, but
no, you're right. Yeah, the only downside is that if you want to see what you did last, you have to go to the last page.
Well, yeah, or change the sort.
Yeah. Okay. Well, 50-50. Okay, let's the reviewer have the final word.
So I mean, what? Yeah, no, it's a good point, and it depends how we're going to surface these reports,
Yeah.
because I would personally like, I suppose you just create a favorite, but ultimately there would be one that was specifically like, we have in our system a favorite called My Activity, and
Yeah.
that takes you specifically to a time tracking report for today.
Yeah.
So it's automatically filtered with today's date, and Bob's your uncle. It's unlikely that you've logged more than 100 bits of time in a single day. But
Yeah.
then, of course, yeah, if you then wanted to look at your time tracking for a week or a month or for the whole team or anything else, then you would possibly want a dashboard or just some favorites or something.
Yes, definitely. I guess we could also have a look at how the activity is sorted on the GitLab, because that's
Well,
kind.
that yeah, I feel like that would definitely be in descending order.
Yes.
But that's because it's an infinite time frame, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this, my expectation is that more often than not, you would be filtering.
Oh, this is fun. It's actually on the activity. This is descending, but when you go to see the detail of a day, it's ascending.
I personally agree with that approach.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, maybe to check on timelines, we could make them ascending by default, and if someone wants to change that, they can do. Okay, sort. Next up, we have to actually sort the values.
So yeah, we need something in the model, I would say. So if you look at the contact model,
Yeah.
so this
By
is yeah, it's again where I feel like we just need to beaver on, but I would really like somebody to take ownership of drying this up and making it a reusable concern or include or whatever you want to call it, because it seems a bit horrible duplicating this in every model. But
yeah, also because order scope. Oh, okay. So we also have to include the scope. These are used to filter. Okay. And again, I don't see any. Okay. The field has the same name, so that's good. And sort by field. Definitely not a private method. Sort by field. Yeah. And then on the resolver, if we have arguments, time logs, apply sorting. Sorting. If I can right? Unless sort. And here we have to do sort by field. Do we sort by field? Oh, okay, the field and the direction. How do we get the direction?
Good question.
The direction. Come on. That's on the Finder. Contact by sort field and direction from the param.
Looks like we've got a bit of protection in there as well, have we or haven't we? No, we just check that the sort key exists, and if it exists, we then pull the field and the direction out from the sort key.
Where are you looking at?
So line, is it 62 or 50? It's just a bit artifacty. Up a little bit higher. So the first line of this method, the sort contacts method, just checks first whether we should actually go ahead, and then we just pull these out. So.
But we only have the sort field. We don't have the direction field.
Isn't that part of the sort? I think if you have a look at the enum.
Oh, that's coming from the enum. Okay, that makes sense.
I think so.
So not in here, but in here.
Bingo, yeah.
Field, direction. Okay, that's easy enough. Field and direction. So apply sorting. We call that in here. We should have everything.
It's interesting that we pass args into all of the other methods when they're actually globally available. Well, I mean,
because that's globally available. Are you sure it's globally available? Because here it's coming from the.
Maybe it's not then. Maybe it's not.
Yeah. Well, let's see if I broke something.
We should probably wrap up after that.
Oh yeah, totally. I didn't really pay attention to the time.
No, I think we've done really well this session, so it's awesome. Thank you.
So this one loaded, so no errors for now. Sort.
Nice.
And if we do this, why don't? Oh yeah, we remove this. We should have internal error for nil. Timelog resolver 144. Oh,
yeah. You got it.
Yeah, copy and paste. It's always that. Okay, so wow, the start cursor and then the cursor are huge this time.
I think it's because the cursor includes the criteria, maybe like the args, the params, or something like that.
Oh, that might be the.
I might be making it. So let's try spent at ask and let's see if that. Nice.
Yes. And I wonder is it right? Yeah, it's right. Let's check the time spent, so we can try sorting for that.
Is it the default's always the same or not?
Oh, that's right. We can.
I don't know. If you scroll down, there might be different ones. Yeah, no, they are all different. It looks like it does randomly pick a.
How do we handle this?
I think that's fine. I think that's fine. You introduced editing time logs, didn't you?
Not editing, but removing. So negative time logs should be a thing of the past.
Yeah, my sort of preference would be that the team don't log negative time, that they adjust. But there might be a scenario where, let's say, you had already done last month's invoicing and you wanted to kind of log negative time this month because you realised you had overbilled them or something like that. So it could still be beneficial. But I think that's fine. I'd say that's working as designed.
Yeah. So in the end, this is working. The only thing it's missing is basically the pain
Tests. But again, hopefully you can look at what we did on that other MR and it should be reasonably straightforward.
Yeah, and backend tests are way easier than front-end tests.
Agreed.
Okay. Actually, I was talking with Natalia that she thinks about the opposite.
I feel like we're fairly qualified to answer that question because of the fact that we're presumably full stack engineers, right? So
maybe.
But yeah, awesome. Appreciate your time as always, Marco. Have a great afternoon, and feel free to ping me on the MRs for two reasons. One, if you want to review. Two, if you want me to push something to them, because I want us to massively encourage this kind of collaboration thing going forward. So to make it much more of a norm, maybe you could carve a little bit of time out to move these to your the community fork, and that'll make it a lot easier for me to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's for sure. Maybe it's better if I just wait for my MR to the TimeLog UI to get merged, so I don't have two different repos, or otherwise I think I will need to have two different installations.
It's really easy to add. You can add remotes to. So if you
I can just use the other remote. Okay, that makes sense.
Exactly. Awesome. Okay. Wicked. Have a great afternoon. Thanks, Marco.
Yeah, thanks to you.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.